Welcome to Aural Hygiene. It's the podcast where we talk about educational films, cult films, experimental films, interesting documentaries. This is Matt here today. With me is that young bad boy of cringe comedy, Malek.
Ah, why did the airplane? What's the
Okay.
deal with why did my arms so tired? Except flew in for my ex-wife.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 47th president of the United States, Malek.
Hey, legally I could be.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah,
that it's impossible.
yeah.
That would be pretty incredible.
That's incredible because you are the 47th president. See, I tied it all together in the end. That's what we're doing
incredible.
today.
How can anyone be the 47th president of the United States?
By following the 46.
That's incredible.
Okay. So that's what we're doing today. The show from the notorious show from the early 80s, which I had burned into my psyche as a toddler. I remember seeing it a lot. And I still want to see an album cover, with the brown, That's Incredible Brown, and the white copper plate lettering, and the name of the band would be Knucking Futs.
Yeah. I would really like the jacket that they were advertising at the end of the show.
Oh yeah, I wanted the jacket. It was like members only with their name stenciled on the back.
Yeah, it was like silver members only jacket. I looked and it is not easy to come by.
It does exist though. You can find it if you want it, if you really want
I
it.
think it's more just you can see a picture of it if you go to the right Tumblr.
Ah, okay. Anyway, we're kind of skipping.
That's incredible.
We're not going from the start here. This is season 1, episode 4. So spoiler warning.
So this would be 1980 then.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's basically I went on YouTube and found one that didn't look like crap, and this one looked relatively crisp. So I was like, let's go with it.
It's very interesting. I'll bring that up later. How interesting it is that it's 1980.
They didn't have 2 segments that are seared into my brain from this show, which is one with the kid that didn't have any. It was like a 8-year-old kid, and he didn't have any arms, so he had to drive the farm truck with his legs.
Yeah, that's.
It's like, why is he driving the truck at all?
Can't have them not doing child labor.
And then one like, look at all these weird people that it was like showing like a Native American sweat house, but like trying to show it as like some amazing, insane like thing that they were doing.
This factory in Singapore has mastered the art of getting shirts made for cents on the dollar.
Yeah, that's basically how it was. Because I go in a sauna like twice a week now, right? So, and also, yeah, I remember they were saying it's like 125 degrees in there, which isn't that hot for a sauna, I think.
I think this show is. I feel like it's very ahead of its time. The editing, the pacing is modern. The sensationalism, maybe it at least is trying to hit the level of sensationalism we're bombarded with every day here in the 21st century.
Right.
Maybe there are a few things that are just like, what?
Well, I felt like it was Garth Brooks' feature news.
Yeah, or you mentioned Look Around You in your notes. That's like a perfect example.
Almost, because that's supposed to be British stuff, right? But it's the same general vibe. Yeah. So you said you never saw this one?
No, I don't have much of a history with the show. It wasn't really part of my upbringing.
But you said it had some notoriety.
Yeah, I mean, I know of it. I guess I always sort of thought it was like Ripley's Believe It or Not, but it feels like maybe not as cool as that.
I think sometimes it could be. The particular episode we chose was the episode we chose, right? So
yeah, of course. I think there's a little bit more of a good news. Do you remember when on Sunday after, or maybe Saturday after all the cartoons would air, there would be like good news, and it would be an hour that was only like uplifting things like look at this duck and how it was rescued, things like that.
Political assassinations.
a cross between those things. Like it doesn't have that edge. Like, but I mean, I don't know if Ripley's Believe It or Not really had that much of a regular TV series either. So.
I think they did at some point, but I'm not quite sure. This to me is sort of the whack feature news standard of the early 80s.
Wait, didn't Dean Cain host a version of Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Maybe they're getting out of my wheelhouse.
That aged well.
I believe this show is referenced in the Black Flag song TV Party.
Oh yeah, they did reference it right.
Yeah, so at least has that like cred or whatever. Yeah, my first note is salon quality hair for all.
Oh yeah. How is that possible? All right, so
That's
are we going
incredible.
to sort of address everything in order because there's a lot to get to here?
Yeah, there's what 3 or 4 stories. So what is the first one?
Well, technically the first thing you see is a sword swallower.
But they get back to him, so I feel like we should like wait on that.
But also he sells more swords at the beginning than he does the middle.
Yeah, but he has her shove it in later.
That was interesting. We'll get to that.
Right. Let's see. We have a little bit of $1 million in basketball. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe that's not worth responding to.
First. Sorry, did I spoil it? Rat basketball.
Yeah. I don't care about basketball.
You're like, wow, it's a little bit shorter of a players, and I literally thought it was going to be like little person basketball, and then it was rats instead. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just thought they were living, Star Trek's games of Triskelon, when you think about it. Because they're being taken by these. I mean, yeah, again, to the rats were the all-powerful creature just putting them in horrible situations. So I guess rat basketball is better than like having like perfume tested on your eyeballs.
I do think that in real basketball they should crawl over each other like the rats did, like a lot.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be like what, gay porn basketball?
It's only gay if you put it in.
Yeah. So we have like that was awesome wonky analog synth accompanying the rats. That was fun. So
for sure. I can't believe they hired a real announcer guy to
see, please don't show the replay. I guess I was tired of watching it because I'm not interested in basketball.
Yeah, me neither. I really tuned out everything except for I just sort of like let the rats wash over me.
I'm pretty bored by sports, and then even in terms of sports, I'm bored by basketball. So, and I'm bad at it. I'm really, really bad at basketball.
I'm okay at it. I was sort of tall when I was a child, so they were like, "You play basketball."
I was pretty tall too, but I was a total suck at basketball. So, I don't want to play. Don't want to play that. Okay.
I don't know if I was good at anything sports related, but.
So let's move on because we don't care about sports. That's what happens. Sometimes I'm teaching like a private student. I'm like, okay, you choose a topic, and they ask me a sport question. I'm like, I'm not that in sports. How about you? Oh, I'm not in sports. I'm like, why'd you talk about it? I'm trying to give you like the opportunity to talk about something you want to talk about. It's like I want to talk about something I'm not interested in.
Yeah, there are a couple of podcasts where they sort of cover current events and they have to throw sports in there, and it's like, okay.
Words, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of what we're doing now, though, isn't it? So moving on to the a porn stash in the lottery, because your life has no success without a shitload of money earned.
It's incredible.
That is. I did think it was funny that
she didn't think that she would win the lottery, and then she did.
That's incredible.
That's so incredible.
Yeah.
Someone won the lottery that I think legally has to have a winner.
White people with money.
She probably has too many kids until she got. Also, if you're listening to this, take the lump sum.
$38,750 a year.
Yeah. You take the lump sum. The lump sum is probably like 60% of the total. Take it all, invest it. You might be dead next year.
That's true, because you only get they dole it out real slowly, which does make sense, of course. I mean, you can't really just I guess that's how we actually run a lottery.
Or you take the lump sum where you get like 60% of it right away, and then
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you typically, maybe not in Kansas. Was that what that was? Oklahoma, Nebraska,
Somewhere
like
out
Bolivia,
Midwest, Bolivia.
wherever you can take the lump sum or take the yearly payment. Usually, you get less money for the lump sum, take all the money up front. But when you do that, you can invest it, and also you can just go ahead
Right. So you're gonna
ruin your life up front.
Mark's financial advice for our financial advice podcast. Sports and
This,
financial advice. That's my
me
podcast,
personally,
Jam.
I've never bought a lottery ticket in my life because I insist on staying ahead.
Let's see. Have I ever bought a lottery ticket? Maybe. Um, once my wife wanted to get the Japanese lottery ticket, and she was super excited about it, but we didn't win anything.
What's that like? I feel like the Japanese lottery would be like there would be 1,000 winners, each of $1,000 or something.
Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it just has a big.
Actually, I would prefer that than like you almost certainly will not win $1 million.
Yeah, I think the chances are a little higher. Like it's a little more socialist, I guess, in their lottery style.
Yeah, sounds
But
less evil.
yeah, this show's first against the wall when the Marxist revolution comes. That's for sure.
But yeah, I mean, the American lottery system is designed to crush thousands and thousands of people to create one more millionaire who will then completely blow all the money.
Money's so important. That's incredible. So
Ah.
not
Anyway, if you can't afford 3 kids, then maybe you don't have 3 kids
right.
because you probably won't win the lottery. I mean, someone has to, but you probably. Now I'm just giving advice to people as somehow that's incredible has turned me into an advice column.
Yeah. That is incredible. Yes. So
Okay.
what are you gonna do with your lump sum?
Oh, me, I would buy the coolest looking UFO ass house in the world. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. I thought you were gonna have like a UFO like made for you or something, like an actual UFO. That'd be
if
cool.
I don't know, the only way to actually, you can't really have a UFO because if you see it, then it's identified, and then it's an identified object.
Like
You have
90% of the UFOs would be like military, right?
I haven't seen as Elon Musk tried to make a saucer.
I don't know. He
Oh,
looks like he came to Earth in a saucer.
yeah, possibly. I think he just came to Earth in a penis-shaped rocket and then left.
No, that's Bezos that does that.
uh, anyway, that's incredible. Let's move on to Motorcycle Man.
Yeah, so that one's kind of like, I guess that was like a standard for them where they show person with disability, gets to drive something. Like I said, it was maybe it was like a 10-year-old kid. It was definitely a kid way too young to be driving, who had no arms driving the farm truck around.
I gotta say, this guy seems nice, but he seems like he has some kind of partial paralysis that makes it a teensy bit irresponsible to put him on the road at full speed, even though he doesn't have to deal with balance issues the motorcycle brings up.
Yeah,
But
it
also,
may no longer be roadworthy as it was back in 1980.
yeah, it really seemed like the highway patrol did a safety check, and it looked like just a highway patrolman came and like looked at it. It was like, well, I looked at it, and then he's just on the road. That's
He's
it.
like, it was insane, but I couldn't really say no.
I mean, that said, we do allow self-driving cars to exist even though they don't work.
Well, as I already mentioned on this podcast, they did have the self-driving car hit a Paralympian in the Olympic Village in Tokyo this year.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is. Yeah, that's the modern. That's incredible when they do the gritty reboot of this. That's what they'll have in it.
I heard just today on the news something like Tesla had to recall like 11,000 cars. So
It'll be the gritty reboot where they have tousled hair and 5 o'clock shadows, including the woman.
yeah, what would they do? That's incredible. Now would just be like, look at this Kickstarter.
Yeah. I guess that's why we don't have shows like this anymore. Also, because of the as you said, the whack editing style, which is modern, I guess, to an extent, but also, I mean, there's the show is so much of its time as well.
That is true. I mean, yeah, it is super Good Morning America, like John Tesh. I know John Tesh isn't the guy, but he's got some serious John Tesh vibes going on.
He was on Entertainment Tonight, same vibe, kind of. I never
Yeah.
watched Good Morning America. You had to get up for that.
See, I watched that a bunch when I was a kid.
Ah, okay. No, I think I just had PBS on and all the bizarro educational things from Canada they'd show on there.
Well, I mean, I did see a lot of The Price is Right. So if you ever want to do an '80s Price is Right up, I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of other people feel the same way. It's just sort of,
So now we can properly talk about the sword guy. I'm gonna take 23 inches of steel down your throat.
What was the co-host's name? Her name was like Katie Crosby or something.
Yeah, I should have written down their names, but I didn't.
I gotta say she was seriously into it. I felt like if that was a party, she would have just given him her number like right away. She was seriously into it.
She probably did. That's what maybe she did that, ran off with some of the guests.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible.
I don't know if you've learned to eat blades, did you waste your life? I mean, it's not, I mean, I guess it's a slightly marketable skill, but it's not particularly practical.
I know a few people who have skill sets that include things like that, and they don't really do it for a living. I don't think that I would assume that guy just went back to New Jersey and then like went back to his construction job or something. I don't think that's like
Hey guys, I was on Last Incredible last week.
as great as his outfit was, and it was.
Oh, the outfit was fantastic. That's what I remember. I don't remember what he looks like. I just remember the outfit.
It was like bright blue and red.
Yeah. So
Like,
yeah,
sure.
I did want to see her kill him, but I guess that's for a Tim and Eric sketch.
Did you also notice that he kind of like stopped her abruptly, like she was going too far?
Yeah. She was about,
You know,
I'm about to do involuntary manslaughter on a set here.
you can't say a safe word if your mouth is full of sword.
Ah, good point. Yes, yes.
Safe word is, "Oh."
But at least she, like you said, at least she was into it, because I think a lot of people might not be into it. So
Yeah, I think it's the people who are not into it would lack the confidence to like put the sword in all the way.
right.
That's where you really get fucked up, is when the sword doesn't go in all.
Okay.
I mean,
The next thing is the next one is where they give you this nice, sunny, like quote unquote inspirational story. But when you start to think about it, you're like, this is probably some dark shit going on, behind this surface here.
Yeah, again, 10 children. That's where we are, right?
Yeah, yeah. Was it 10? Okay.
We're not in outline form. They should have been. But yes, 10 children. I mean,
And then the mom dies, and you're like, where actually is dad?
she has to. She manages to find homes for all of them, and then visits all of them, posing as an aunt, and then
Yeah,
dies.
right.
That's like dark.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I guess the dad was like, oh shit, I can't deal with this, and ran off.
I don't even know if they mentioned the dad like once.
I know,
Did
that's
they?
the point. Maybe they did once, but I think, yeah. But anyway, I'm like, this is like, they make it sound like a nice, sunny, God-fearing Midwest story, but you're like, this probably is not, a particularly happy tale if you look into the details.
It's how long are the 30 years without talking to each other?
So yeah, I
Like,
think they said that.
that's a little weird. It seemed like maybe a couple of them knew each other.
Right, right. Demoted from mother to aunt, then from life. But yeah, yeah, this is where I started like wondering if this is like a MK Ultra fodder or something, right?
So do you think that they actually did know each other and just sort of pretended to not know each other for the story, or do you think that they did something
The
like,
producers probably told them to act like they don't actually know each other.
that
Makes
makes
them
sense?
easier to round up, right? Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. They said the father was crippled, and I put ... with alcoholism.
Yeah, I'd say the movie version was, when we get to that and it shows the clip from the movie version and Anne Margaret's like, I'm dying. What do you mean you're dying? I'll fucking kill you. It was like the guy was just gonna beat her to death for for daring to be dying.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I said certainly
like,
deadbeat dad isn't showing up again. But and then so I guess they put the darker corners in there. And then of course Anne Margaret shows up as a guest on That's Incredible. And she looks like she would like to be anywhere else
yeah,
possible.
she looks like she's completely unprepared. She doesn't want to be there. She doesn't know. She's embarrassed.
She was at gunpoint 5 minutes earlier, or right before walking onto the stage.
What? How much you want to bet that one or two of the adults? How much you want to bet that one or two of the siblings went up to her in the back behind the show? They're just like, "Hey,
Yeah.
saw mother, you did,
Mhm.
bitch," and then she's just like had to be on stage with them.
That'd be fun.
Or maybe like there was some lawsuits, because this is an interesting thing that you may not have known, but I checked IMDb. That movie came out in 1983.
Oh,
So
okay. So
so if
this
it
could
came
be
out in 19,
later. Again, I'm
this
like
came out
not
in
sure about the
1980, that
date.
means that the movie was in whatever. There were clips from this movie, and it did not come out for 3 years. So
I'm not 100% sure that the YouTube date on this was correct. So it
well,
could have
if
been more
that is true,
contemporaneous.
then I just have to say that's incredible.
I mean, this show's pretty weird, and it's not like like Star Trek or something where you can find like detailed production notes and trivia on like everything, right? This is kind of like,
Where
again, this is
you're
ephemeral
doing
film we
con,
look at.
and there's like somebody who's dressed as like the lawyer guy at the con, or
Yeah,
dressed like your motorcycle guy.
right.
And that would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, and then they get back to the vehicles, right? I assume we're finished with the family, right?
I mean, yeah, they're fine.
They were
I'm sure they
there.
got some money from that.
They weren't that interesting, to
Margaret's
be
fine. And
honest.
Margaret's still alive,
Then
probably
they're
still
like,
alive.
"Hey, we're having the longest race in the world." I'm like, for 2 days. I'm like, isn't the Tour de France like 2 weeks?
That was a fun. I wrote down that this was like a cross between Burning Man and a soapbox derby.
Yeah, they had some nice like Benny Hill music, bass and brass, while the while the
And that looked fun. I feel like they could have made the whole show about that.
yeah, and they only spent like 2 minutes on it. That one truck looked like Optimus Prime though, didn't it?
Yeah, and there was something that looked sort of like the wheel guy from Twisted Metal, but it was like inflatable.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know,
But yeah,
sort
I
of.
was just waiting for a transformer, and that didn't happen. So
Yeah, they're
okay.
only they're only making those now. I don't think we're gonna see real Transformers until like, I
Now,
don't know.
the last piece is like I don't even know what they were trying to say. Look at this, John Davis, a man who apparently was a complete prick and destroyed his life, and now I mean, he got a stroke or whatever, so there's that. But yeah, it was a bizarre story. Again, I'm sure the corners are much darker than the show makes it out to see.
That was at best a disjointed narrative. I was unclear. I was not entirely clear on what he did wrong. I was definitely very unclear on how he got his life back. It looked like he just called a guy at the bar and gave him like Riddler like puzzles, and the guy was interested. So he reinstated his. And it also sounded like, I mean, did I misinterpret this, or did it seem like they didn't revoke his license to practice law until after he'd been homeless for a while? Like it was just
That's what it sounded like. So I guess we should say he was a lawyer. He had like a stroke or something in the early 60s.
well,
Um,
it's he got hit, like got in the car accident. That was the main thing, right?
oh
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry,
I mean,
I'm watching stuff late at night. So
no, it's totally fine. It
anyway,
all
get
kind of washes over you because that's incredible.
yeah. There's like 8 stories here. I can't keep all the details straight. Um, okay, he has his car accident and then becomes like an alcoholic prick or something.
Yeah, and I gotta say, at no point during the segment did it feel like he got his brain all the way back. It seemed like he was
No,
still
that's why
like
I
if
said stroke. He was talking like, so he sounded like someone who was having or had a stroke.
I mean, I can't rule out the possibility that he always sounded like that, but he was definitely like, if somebody was like he turned into a cult leader or some or cult follower, then I wouldn't be very surprised.
Yeah. So yeah, it seemed a little new age or whatever. Of course, it has to be all like Christian. That was one thing, just how strong the like kind of religious right thing was seeping through this whole show.
Oh yeah, I mean, all of society. 1980 was, I don't know, it was sort of the beginning of it in a way, where it was, it was both like really prevalent and also just extremely accepted to the point where people weren't even paying attention to it.
Exactly. And for me, it's like getting a full blast in the face from 1980 of it. Also, we just don't get in Japan. There's no such thing as a extreme, not an extreme Zen Buddhist, you know.
That's,
The most
I
extreme
feel
you
like
get
the
there is,
extremes of Buddhist would be just like the most chill, right?
yeah, I was about to say extreme for Zen Buddhism would be shaving your head and becoming a monk at a temple, you know.
They're just like in a coma and they're extreme sin Buddhists. Yeah, it's a weird thing where forgiveness is pushed just so hard. It's
Yeah.
like there were things like, I mean, you're talking about during that era, right around the time this aired, some of the worst serial killers in American history were caught. A
Right.
lot of them got to just have redemption stories because, Ted Bundy, think Son of Sam, at least a little bit, kind of like played these religious people, or maybe just, I
Yeah,
don't know if played
could you
the right
could you
word.
have a That's Incredible sketch segment for John Wayne Gacy? He killed all his people, but now he's rehabilitated, painting clowns.
Yeah, now he does clowns, and he yeah, I mean, he was already a community leader guy beforehand, so it's like
Yeah.
you could
So he's
totally,
redeemed himself after murdering people.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, his last words were "kiss my ass," so it's at least he was kind of honest. Yeah,
Yeah, at least he stayed true to the end, not like John Davis here.
yeah. John Davis killed just inordinate amounts of people, and nobody even cares.
Yeah, because it was all in Skid Row in West Virginia. It did blow my mind when they're trying to show you like the urban scenes of West Virginia. I guess they have it if you look in the right place. Of course they do, but it was just like you just don't think of what Charleston as the big city.
I've
Unless
never, I actually, no, my first time in West Virginia was pretty recently, and pretty much it was just driving through it.
that's most people's experiences of West Virginia, I think.
We did stop for pepperoni rolls though; they were great.
Okay, that's cool. um, so yeah, I put at the end also I want incredible escape from prison. That's what I wanted to see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should note that every segment has to be like some
Oh,
kind of incredible thing at the end.
oh God, the guy who wrote in, and he was like, "My wife's cooking is terrible," and it's like, "That's inedible."
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Is that
That was
That's
incredibly.
terrible.
That's
Everything is terrible, right?
But this is a Jewish show called "That's Terrible." It'll just be like people talking about how bad their life is. That's terrible.
That's most reality TV, I believe.
Yeah, I guess so. There isn't as much of a gaze on it. It's there won't be a live studio audience in usual like reality TV.
Sorry, why did I write I'm king of the joystick?
Because there was a preview for an arcade something or other for the
That,
next episode.
that's the
It was
episode I
like
should have gotten. Oh well. Because yeah, I
kids
just took a
between groups
stab at
of.
the dark here. Just again, I just wanted to find one with a print that was like watchable.
Oh, it looked good.
Yeah. Because some of
Oh
them
no,
look like
yeah,
hazy VHS, right? So
yeah. I mean, this was for all
incredible.
my jabs at it. It is very fascinating. So,
Yeah, it's a like the show just assumes that you're in the exact same mind frame as them, and they're totally in a different mind frame than most people watching it, particularly now will be.
have you watched any sort of modern talk shows, kind of like The View or Ellen or something like that?
Never,
Not at all.
not at all.
Check. I've seen them a couple of times just being at a service, waiting for my car to get fixed at a dealership or something, and it's like really upsetting how enthusiastic the audience is. Like the audience is sort of like jumping and hooting and hollering and throwing fists and whatever. It's just like it makes me tired to watch it. It makes me scared.
Yeah, in Japan, you know, they have the talk shows like that. Of course, I don't understand a lot because it's my Japanese isn't that great, but they always have the panel of people, and it's always like, oh, they're famous TV talent. Oh, why are they famous for? Because they're TV talent. They just show up on all the panel shows.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
guess that's.
are the audiences for those shows like just nuts?
I
Or
don't know. No, it's Japan.
yeah,
I don't even think. I don't even think they show the audience if they have an audience. So
yeah,
yeah, it's
it's
probably
just
just on
like
a set.
it would be so weird to me to be expected to just kind of act like a
No, I
crazed.
don't actually. Yeah, you very rarely see audiences on Japanese television, just for the, you know, music shows you might, because, you know, and anything else? I think I had
But
another.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, pretty much just music shows.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much just music shows. I feel like they don't have like the live studio talk show thing so much in Japan.
Is there are there music shows with really weird stuff like
Oh God, yes. I'll send you clips if you want.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, I got one right on the. Oh, some of the bizarro, like they'll have the like person who's been on the New Year's show for like 50 years or like 80 now, singing Inca, and just this insane stage production. Like one lady who comes on every year, she's like in a dress that just goes on like forever and makes the rest of the stage while there's like twirling lights and people like, you know, doing acrobatics around her and stuff. It's like totally bizarre.
nice.
You know, I'll find some of that. That might be more interesting than some of the stuff in the show. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think that what I was gonna say to tie it all together is that that's incredible. The thing that makes it is the audience that you are that what they are doing, they're trotting all this stuff out in front of a bunch of people who have to like scream at it, which is weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true for something like this show, but I know sitcoms, you know, those live student audiences sometimes have to sit there for like 5 hours.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times they have to have. I know that they have to have like warm up comedians go out and do like stand up just to like
Yeah, that's
get.
what I was thinking when you're mentioning the talk show. You know, crowds going insane that they've probably been, you know, well, they have been prepped, I'm sure. So
They've been handed out like free cocaine.
yeah,
Ah,
you should get a job warming up audiences. That'd be,
I've heard that is a terrible job.
yeah, I'm sure it is. Hey, you guys ready to have some fun? Let me tell you some jokes.
And to the point that I think Conan O'Brien used to do it for his own audience, and people were like, "What the hell are you doing? Why you're the nicest person in the world for actually doing
But yeah, so okay, it is this is kind of just an interesting cultural bauble to stare at for a while. I mean,
it?" Yeah,
again, there are, like I said, they weren't in this particular episode, but there were a few of their bits that did stick in my brain for eternity. So I guess that's saying something.
I mean, I for sure want the wheelchair motorcycle. I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to.
everybody wants that. That's basically a go-kart, right?
Yeah, it is a go kart. It's like for as much as I was like, "Oh well, that doesn't seem safe." I live in Atlanta. There are a group of young people who just drive clusters of ATVs and stuff through intersections. I
Do
think
red
the
lights.
cops are starting to. I've seen a guy in like a four-wheel ATV do like a wheelie just lasted for like a mile.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I
Not
don't.
safe.
That must have been after my time there.
Oh yeah, I'm talking like 2018 until now,
Okay, yeah, yeah, I
especially
definitely wouldn't know
after
that.
2020,
Right.
especially that.
Anyway, I'll do the little pluggy thing for this show, I guess. Aural Hygiene on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's part of the podcast umbrella on Patreon of Podcastio Podcastius. Um, you can do that. You can hear about sci-fi movies or video games, things like that. Are you up to anything? It's like maybe.
I have a Twitter. Where is it? I'm trying to see who I'm on. I think Stunrunner Music. I would theoretically be making music, but I'm just giving you my Twitter because I'm not really using that either, but maybe I'll put something on it.
Just send them some threats via Twitter.
Yeah, I'll just tweet out that's incredible every day.
All right. Well, incredible podcast.
Stay tuned.